This industry can be a bit toxic, and as much as we want to assume that the company has our best interests at heart, that is not always the case. We're talking about corporate America here, okay? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Priscilla. If you're new here, I am a New York-based flight attendant working with a major US airline company. In today's video, I will be talking about my 2-year anniversary. So it has been 2 years ever since I've been on the line, guys. It's been 2 years. I can't say it feels like a long time, but what I can certainly say is that it feels like it was just yesterday that I got on the line, where I went for training. I worked my first trip. You guys were there with me. I shared the moment with you all. So it's been 2 years already, and I'm here to just share a few things that I believe I have learned along the way, things that have become apparent along the way for me, and also how much I made my second year compared to my first year as well. And then we'll just end it all with where my mind is with regards to this job, and if I'm gonna continue doing it or if I'm not gonna continue doing it. So let's jump right into it. First thing is, how has the past 2 years been being a flight attendant? How has it been? That's a really good question. What I can confidently say to you all is that I know you guys have been following my journey. If you've been on my channel, you know how I started, what I did, what I went through, how I got on the line, my first trip, my first reserve, like everything. You guys know it all. But what I can confidently say is that for the past 2 years, it's actually been great. It's been good. I think I always say this, and I'm starting to believe it. I've been one of the fortunate individuals that has had the opportunity to go through the journey of becoming a flight attendant that has been in a way smooth or ideal or the best possible case scenario that people might expect or want to happen. And likewise, the past 2 years, it's been okay. First year was okay. It was obviously a learning curve, so that was a lot. But second year was actually pretty smooth. Last year was pretty chill. It was pretty uneventful. I think the only issues that we had, or I had last year, was the meltdown that happened in July during the summer. But aside from that, everything else has been great. Like, it's not been crazy at all. So yeah, being a flight attendant for 2 years has been okay so far. For the second year, what I focused more on was taking my time, taking it easy, and working the trips that make me the most money. I did not work any international trips at all because I didn't go to Europe nowhere. I only did domestic trips throughout the year. My first year, I did Amsterdam a couple of times, but my second year, I did not do any international flying at all. My focus was making money, working the fewer days as possible, and then also getting as many days off as possible. So let's talk about the pay. In terms of pay, I believe my first year, I made about a little over $55,000. And for my second year, like I said, I wasn't flying a lot. At some point, I took a leave of absence, and then January, February, March, April, I wasn't flying a lot either. So I only started flying a lot during the summer. My second year, I made about $59,000, a little bit shy of $60,000. And once again, this is gross pay. I don't talk about net pay. Over the past 2 years of being a flight attendant, guys, so many things have become apparent. I shared a little bit of tips in my 1-year anniversary video, but within the past 2 years, one thing that I have learned, or it has become obvious, is that the whole idea of flexibility, which I talk about a lot on this channel, about this job offering me the flexibility that I need to be able to work more when I want to. And even though that is the case in theory, sometimes in reality, the flexibility is not always there. It's not always available, because sometimes our schedule values are so high that right when schedules are released, you're scheduled so many days that you don't get as many days off as possible to offer you the flexibility that allows you to be able to move things around smoothly. The other thing also is that during certain periods of time, because we're being scheduled a lot of trips to begin with, other flight attendants are not picking up trips as much as they should, or as often as they did in the past, or are not willing to swap in and out of the trips that they have with other people. So there's not always flexibility. The other thing also is maximizing my time. I wanted to work fewer days, but then I wanted those days to be effective so that I make as much money as I can while I'm working. Then I can have more days off to myself. You you can do that by working high credit trips. So instead of working a 3-day trip that's worth 17 hours or 15 or 16 hours, I would rather aim for a 3-day trip that was worth over 20 hours. The other thing that became apparent year 2 or 2 years into this industry is that this industry can be a bit toxic. Like the work group of flight attendant, like the whole industry, the world of flight attendant or cabin crew can be a bit toxic. And I'm not even saying it with regards to my airline specifically, because in as much as we have different airlines, in a way we're one, it's like a community. There's always a complaint about something. I don't know how to explain it, but the industry felt a bit toxic for me, especially last year. The platforms that maybe I'm preview to was just overstimulating in a way. You have to be able to set yourself up such that you have a life outside of the work or outside of the industry, so your identity and your life is not all about being a flight attendant or a cabin crew member. Let me know in the comment section, in terms of the toxicity that I'm talking about, do you think the cabin crew world or industry is toxic in a way? If you're planning on becoming a new flight attendant, 2 years in for me, I think you should take the opportunity to try out other bases. If you have an opportunity to try, or if you have the means to be able to fly out of bases, do it, because I feel like it exposes you and it makes the job a little bit more exciting in a way, because you're not stuck with working at the same place over and over again, and it just diversify your experiences for you. So I will say, if you can pick up trips outside of your base, do it. If you can, if you're willing to do the 1 month swap just to try out other bases, do it, because sometimes also you might think your base is okay, but then you end up working out of another base and you might end up enjoying it more. Knowing our work rules, and as much as we want to assume that the company has our best interest at heart, that is not always the case. We're talking about corporate America here, okay? So definitely know your rules, because scheduling, you might think scheduling has your best interest at heart, but they might not. We have so many rules and so many things that guide our job that sometimes they might just not know or might miss something, you know? So you have to make sure that you're willing to research, understand the work rules, and learn the work rules as well. This job to an extent can be mentally draining and overstimulating. You're constantly in close quarters with people, with customers, with crew members in a tube, and you're surrounded by hundreds of people constantly when you're working, and that can be overstimulating. It can be mentally draining. That's why I always suggest that don't overwork yourself. If you want to work a lot and make money, go ahead and do it, but you also have to prioritize your rest and take a break when you have to. Lastly, I do want to share that if you are in training right now, or you're considering being a flight attendant or cabin crew member, or you just got on the line, or even you're on the line, anything that happens, document it. Make documenting everything a habit. Whether it's an injury, an incident that happened, an encounter, even if it seems irrelevant, document it, because you never know what will happen. I'm not saying write people up for God knows whatever reason. You might just hit your finger and you think, oh, it's okay in the moment, but it might lead to something else. So you have to make sure you're documenting things as much as you can, because it covers you. Disclaimer, I'm not saying go and be writing people up and reporting people to managers or whatever. What I'm saying is learn to document things that happen so that you have the coverage or the evidence or the proof in case it's brought up again. 2 years in, it's been great. It's been good. I still haven't had like any encounters where I would say, oh my God, I hate this job. I don't want to do it again. I can never do it again. So the big question is, am I quitting or am I not quitting? Hell no. Your girl is not quitting. I'm certainly not quitting. I'm here for the long term. I'm here for the long haul. I enjoy this job. Share your experience in the comment section below. How long have you been in the industry so far? Especially for those who watched my channel and then ended up becoming flight attendants later on. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Once again, thank you all for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.